and welcome to a new vlog. Welcome to Wednesday. It is 1 week since the Wednesday where it felt like everything wasn't working. So we're gonna try to do this over. We're gonna try to have a better Wednesday today than I did last week. I'm not starting out with, it's almost the exact same conditions. Like, it's cloudy and rainy again today. I've got raindrops dripping off the roof line outside my window. I'm in a cozy sweater. It feels like it's winter again. This is without a doubt the oddest March I have experienced in Arizona in recent memory. Like the last several years. I can't remember a March like this. I'm loving it. But this does make me feel like, oh my gosh, are we in for just the hottest summer on record? Because this can't last. It can't last. It's not going to last. And it is giving me this almost kind of weird Groundhog Day kind of feeling where I keep thinking spring is going to come and then it doesn't. So it feels like we're caught in a perpetual, like, because even February felt colder than usual. So it feels like we're caught in a perpetual January, which is really throwing me off because, like, we're done with spring break and I only have like 5 weeks after this one of the semester left. So yeah, it's just, it's very odd. And very wonderful at the same time, but very odd. I have a lot to do today. I have to get on a call in just a couple minutes. So I'm gonna make this intro quick. Or not a call, I'm doing a webinar this morning. Then immediately after that, I have a call. Then I've got some time. And so I'm gonna do a lot of grading. And then I've got another call this afternoon. So I'm starting early because of this webinar and my calls. So I'm getting an earlier start to the day, which will help, but I also haven't slept. Like, I'm not sleeping. We'll talk about that later or another day, but still not sleeping very well for me. And so I'm very, very tired. I just feel like I'm in survival mode. I just have to get through the next few weeks. That's just all there is. Well, several weeks. Next 5 weeks. That's all there is to it. But I have a lot of grading to do today. So yeah. So I'm going to get these calls done and jump on this webinar, get the calls done, all of that stuff. Get to grading. We'll go move over to the couch for grading. And yeah, enjoy this cloudy, rainy morning. I don't think the rain's going to last all day, but I'm going to enjoy it while it lasts and just have a good day. I'm just telling myself from the start, I'm not going to get everything done. I'm probably not even going to get a fraction of everything done, but it's okay. I'm just going to do as much as I can and be happy with that. So that said, time to jump on this webinar. It's now later. I'm just having to tell myself stuff just isn't going to get done today, and that's just going to have to be okay. It stopped raining. The sidewalks are drying out, but it's still very cloudy. I have another call in an hour. I thought I had 2 hours, but I don't. I need to eat though. I really need to eat, but I kind of want to go for a walk, but I also don't want to go for a walk. Part of me feels like I might just take today off from going for a walk, but it's such a beautiful cloudy day that it's like, oh, I should go for a walk, but I don't know. Like, that's what I did with the hiking. I made myself go hiking even on days when I didn't feel like it, and like, this is like, it just, okay, I'm thinking out loud, and I need to just go eat, and I need to go sit on the couch and just relax for a little bit before my next call. It's fine. It's fine. It's all fine. It's all fine, Andrea. So I'm going to disconnect my personal laptop from my external monitor. It's still charging, so I'm going to leave this computer here for now to charge. I'm going to go get a croissant sandwich tossed into a toaster oven. I'm going to start doing some grading. We'll see how much grading I can do before my next call. And I'll make a decision later about going for a walk. I'm not going to go for a walk right now. Part of me was thinking of going because it's so cloudy. I could go right now. Normally I go later in the evening or afternoon. I could go right now. I might just do yoga today. It's so nice and cloudy, and part of me just wants to get out and get a walk in. But my knees were really hurting yesterday after teaching, and I've got to go teach tomorrow, and tomorrow is my longer day. So I do worry that going for a walk today might not be the best thing. Like, yoga would probably be more sensible. We'll see how grading goes after my next call. It means I'll have more time after my final call of the day. I'll have more time than planned that I can do some more grading, but also do some more outlining. I really want to do some more outlining, so we'll see. But I'm going to be sensible and go get some food and start grading and all of that stuff, and then jump on my last call of the day, and then we will see where things are at. I need to get a feel for like how much grading there actually is. I think I'm going to get more done than I thought I would, but I'm not going to get everything done today, and I'm just having to accept in my head that that's okay. That's fine. It's fine. I'm not going to get everything done today. I don't need to. My brain is functioning better today, and I think part of it is mental, like part of it's just, I've just accepted I'm not going to get all the things done today, but part of it's also I am just in a better place today with what I have actually scheduled, and like I know I'm not going to get all the grading done, but outside of grading I don't have that much on my task list, so it's okay. So if I don't go for a walk, I will do yoga. I will do something physical for myself today, but I see a bit of blue sky. I don't want to do any work. I could go hiking right now. I'm not. I'm really not. But like, that's how nice the weather is. I'm pretty sure there will not be a single rattlesnake or even so much as a gecko out on the trails right now. They have all gone back under a rock for today because this is not their weather. I could go hiking today. It is that nice. I'm not going to, and I'm probably not going to go for a walk either. So I'm just going to shut up and go get some food and get on with the rest of my afternoon. Finally. Okay, calls are all done. They've been done. They've been done for a while now. I'm not making as much progress as I had wanted, but that's okay. I'm in the middle of grading, so I've made some progress. My inbox, I've got some more drafts to review in my inbox, but I want to get through the grading first. I'm trying to get through all of the second drafts for my business writing students, and it shouldn't take me that long, I say optimistically, but it is taking a little bit of time. I've got an Emily D. Baker live stream replay on YouTube. So I've got that to keep me company, and I think I'm just gonna plow through these second drafts. They shouldn't take long, so I'm hoping to get through all 3 classes by 5 o'clock. I'm part of the way there. I think I can manage it. So I think I'll work until 5 on teaching stuff, and then at 5 we can shift to some outlining, and I can give you an update on that. So yeah, but it's a lovely day. Like, I feel like, honestly, this is the weird way my brain works. I think I'm actually being less productive this Wednesday than I was last Wednesday. But this Wednesday, I don't really care. Like, this Wednesday, I've just acknowledged I'm not going to get that much work done. Like, I'm getting work done, just it's taking me a while to get stuff done, so it doesn't feel like I'm getting that much done. Like, I'm just, as I'm vlogging stuff and sharing stuff and having days like last Wednesday and then days like this Wednesday, I'm just learning a lot about how I define productivity and being productive these days. And it's so different from how I used to define being productive. Like, overall, in some ways, but not all, I'm probably far less productive than I was during my PhD. But I also look at the damage I did as far as like the burnout that level of productivity caused me. And so I'm kind of in a similar place as I was, like coming to a similar realization as I did with all the book stuff. And instead of beating myself up now for how much less I'm producing compared to what I was writing and publishing in 2020 and early 2021, instead of beating myself up for that and looking at now as being in a deficit of some sort, instead I flip my perspective to be like, this is normal, my productivity levels now, and wasn't it amazing that I could be so much more productive then? And it's kind of the same thing with my teaching work. Like, it's just, on one hand, it's kind of cool that I was able to push myself like that. And I'm really having to acknowledge and recognize that no one is built to maintain the level of productivity and productiveness that I had, particularly during those last couple years of my PhD. So kind of the first couple years of my YouTube channel. Because I started my YouTube channel in April of 2016. It's almost the 7-year anniversary. I'm just a week and a half away. By the time this vlog goes up, it'll be less than that. It's like, it's been just about 7 years. I started in April 2016 and I graduated in May of 2018. So the first 2 years of my channel were kind of the last 2 years of my PhD. And that was when I was preparing for my comp exam, taking my comp exam, doing my prospectus and participating in my colloquy, and then writing my dissertation. And if you've ever done a PhD or know someone who has, you know that like those last couple of years of, like, here in the US, it's a little bit different than other countries, but that time period where you finished your coursework, because coursework is very regimented and structured, and you've got a time and a place that you've got to be somewhere and do stuff and fixed deadlines per semester. Once coursework is done, it's just this vast amount of work that needs to be done, but it's really on you to manage your schedule. And I somehow took longer for my prospectus, for my portfolio review, my comp exam, and my prospectus. And so I only had 1 full year to do my dissertation. instead of 2 like I'd originally very optimistically hoped I would have. And so those last couple years were just so intense because I was trying to get portfolio and comps and prospectus wrapped up. And then I was frantically trying to make up for lost ground of being a little bit behind on my dissertation. And like, to look back at that time and think of that as the normal level of productivity rather than acknowledging, all of this is coming to me like as I'm talking to you guys right now. But like, it's so true. For me to look back at that time and think of it as normal rather than looking at it and realizing it was so incredible that I was functioning at that level. And that was also the first couple years after being diagnosed with fibromyalgia. Like, that was when my fibro was at its worst. And I was still producing and doing that much work. Like, it's a miracle. The more I'm thinking about this, the more I'm realizing that was an absolute miracle that I was working and functioning at that level while still in the early stages of fibromyalgia. Like, my mind is blown. So to think that I could keep functioning at that like I was always going to slow down. And so when I have weeks like last week and this week, and like I'm also at that stage in the semester where we have like 5 weeks after this one. We're almost down to the last month and the semester is almost done. And this is always the time of year where I start losing my mind just a little bit and feeling very overwhelmed and very flustered and very frantic. So like last Wednesday actually makes a lot of sense when I put it into this proper context of like where I'm at in the semester, where I'm at in the year, where I'm at in like the journey I've been on over the last few years. So I don't know. I just feel like I've gotten to a point today where it's just like a radical acceptance. I've got a lot of work to do this week. Some of it's going to get done today. Some of it's going to get done tomorrow. Some of it's going to get done on Friday. But it's going to get done. It'll be fine. In the meantime, at least I've got this beautiful breeze coming in. And the weather is just so lovely. And I've got the windows open and fresh air. And I'm in a cozy sweater. Life is good. Life is stressful. It's had its moments. It's all going to be fine. I will figure stuff out. It'll be okay. But right now, in this specific moment, there's really nothing to stress me out. So I've got some salt and vinegar potato chips and the Emily D. Baker live stream. I've got my laptop with all the papers that need to be graded, and I'm going to shut up and stop rambling and get back to grading, and I'm just going to see how much I can get done, and it'll be fine. Nothing worth stressing about. All right, it is 5:15. I got a lot of grading done. So I managed to get all of the second drafts for my business writing class done. So that's fantastic because they turned in their final drafts on Friday. So I really wanted to go through all of their second drafts. So I got that done, and then I was also able to get through my inbox. Didn't get everything done, but I got a lot done, and that's what matters. I have a few things I need to do. I see an email personal email that's come in, so I want to read that really quick. I was waiting for a response, so I want to read that response. So I'm just going to reply to this email and then we will get to outlining. I'm very happy. I'm very happy with the progress of this outline so far. I don't know how many words it is because I can't see that in Babisco, in the section of Babisco that I'm in. It's not counting my words. Oh no, it is. I just noticed that. It is. It's counting it down in the corner. My outline so far is 1,691 words. We'll see if I can get at least 500 words added. So every chapter has something written. Oh, I see where I left off. So I definitely need to pick up where I left off. So one of the things I was doing, and again, I can't show you this or it's going to show my story, but one of the things that I was working on, so when I started out, I just had kind of like a list, only instead of numbers, it was the chapter numbers. So it was chapter 1 dash and then space to write what happens in chapter 1, chapter 2 dash space for chapter 2 ideas. And I did that all the way down. And so when I just had like one line or so per chapter, one line of text ideas per chapter, I could see about half the book at a time. Now I've got to scroll quite a bit because each chapter has at least a few ideas. At this stage, none of them are really complete sentences. There's a few complete sentences scattered throughout, but for the most part, it's pretty just like fragments of ideas. Like, is there an example that I can share? So like chapter 1, just past New Year, full of optimism, loves this time of year, great for hiding away inside and coming up with new business ideas. So I'm not yet telling you which. If I tell you what business, you'll know which character. Girl in her shop, typical day. So like just really fragmented ideas, but then ends with inciting incident number 1 and EOC, which is my abbreviation for end of chapter, and then what that EOC is going to be. So I was talking about this before in a previous vlog. One of the things I do to help kind of maintain momentum, which momentum is different from pace, which if you read Tiffany Yates Martin, if you read this book, she talks about the difference between pace and momentum, which she didn't invent that, but I like the way that she explained it because it made sense to my brain. Pace is kind of the speed at which things move along. Momentum is that things are just continuing to move along. So you can slow down your pace but still have momentum. One of the things I do, and I see this in a lot of books that I read, one of the things that I feel helps with momentum and getting readers to go from one chapter to the next instead of putting it down at a chapter, and we see TV series do this all the time as well, is ending a chapter, or in a TV show, ending an episode on a bit of a cliffhanger. Netflix shows kind of really nailed this, and we saw this a bit in primetime TV in general, and certainly soap operas do this all the time. Like, you end on a cliffhanger so that people will want to come back to the next episode. Or if you're watching a whole season of something on Netflix, you end an episode on a cliffhanger so that someone will immediately go through and start the next episode instead of stopping and watching something else or just turning off Netflix for the night. And so we see this in books a lot as well. Like, I've seen so many authors do this, and my favorite books tend to do this, and I think one of the reasons why they become my favorite books is because of this particular technique. As a reader, it keeps you reading. And so I don't do this for every chapter, and I don't even really recommend it for every chapter. I feel like if every chapter ends on a cliffhanger, and if there's no point in the novel that feels like a natural resting point where I can put the book down, then the reader's just going to figure out their own natural resting point. So I don't do it like every 2 chapters or every 3 chapters. I try not to be really rigid about it, because then readers will figure out, oh, we just had one last chapter, she does it every 3 chapters, so I'm going to wait to the next one where she doesn't do it. You want to keep your readers guessing to a certain extent. But by putting one in every so often, it just helps with that momentum. And I do like doing it for the first 2 or 3 chapters just to get that momentum going so that someone doesn't put the book down at the end of the first chapter. So I've started formatting my outline in Bibisco just so that I can see. So EOCs are in bold, so I can see which chapters have one of those. The chapter title, chapter heading is in bold. At the beginning of each chapter section, in bold and underlined, I have markings for the timeline. So starts off early January, and then chapter 2 I've got same day, chapter 3 is same day, chapter 4 is next day. Partway through chapter 4 I've got another time marker bolded and underlined that's next day. And then I've also marked, so EOCs are in bold, and then in bold and italicized I've got some of my main plot structure ideas. So I've got 2 inciting incidents, one that's related to the main character's business and one that's related to like the main character's personal life or the romantic plot arc. So I've got my 2 inciting incidents notated, and then partway through bolded and italics I've got my midpoint. So I'm starting to put in some of these like structural and plot notes in different formatting than just regular unbolded font. So I got down to chapter 15, so I need to keep working through chapter 16 through 20 and the epilogue, keep figuring out the timeline and all of that, and continuing to add ideas. And then we'll see what time it is. We'll see how many words I've gotten up to that point. I want to start getting some of these less developed chapters up more to the length of the more developed chapters. So like right now, chapter 12 and chapter 5 are probably as developed as I'm going to get them before I transition everything into Scrivener and start building out the outline even more. So yeah, if you've seen how I outline my books in Scrivener, that will give you more details. I'll share more of that process when I get to that stage. But for now, I'm enjoying working in Bibisco. So yeah, so I'm gonna work on this. I've been talking for a long time. I'm gonna get working. I'm gonna light my elderflower and bay leaf candle. This is my sort of temporary book candle for this project. So I'm gonna get this lit. There's a bit of sun coming out, a bit of blue sky, so I'm enjoying that. And we're gonna spend the next, well, it's 5:30 now because I've been talking for so long, so probably the next 45 minutes. We'll work until 6:15 on this, but I need to check that email first. That'll take 2 seconds. So we'll still spend roughly 45 minutes. Okay, cool story, Andrea. Time to shut up and write. It's 20 after 6. I want to keep going, but I have to stop or it's gonna be too late, because I really do want to do some stretching / yoga before I settle down and sit down for the night. My back and my hips just not happy. Outline has gone well though. I am now up to 2,300, so 2,367 words in my outline. Every chapter has at least a short paragraph. I use the word paragraph loosely though. So it's coming along. 2,300 words for an outline. I'm hoping by the start of Camp Nano, I'm hoping to have at least 5,000 words in my outline. And that really isn't a lot. 5,000, let me get my calculator. 5,000 divided by 20 chapters would only be about 250 words per chapter. But I might be able to get actually, maybe I can get more to like, I think 8 to 10,000. I would feel really happy with that. So what would 500 words per chapter be? That'd be 10,000. So I think if I can be somewhere between like 300 and 500 words per chapter, I would be happy. So I think I am almost to the point where I need to get this put into Scrivener. I do now have my timeline roughly figured out for the whole book, and I've got some of my structure stuff in place. Like I know which chapters have the first 2 inciting incidents. I know which chapter has the midpoint, which chapter has where like everything shifts. I probably need an everything shifts number 1 before the midpoint, and then everything shifts again, like number 2 after the midpoint. And then I've got my climax, my pit of despair, as I call it. And I think that's also what Romancing the Beat refers to it as. And then my resolution. So I've got some of those bigger structural things notated. So I'm happy with it. I'm very happy with how it's coming along. I'm liking the story so far, and I'm excited to work on it some more. So I'm gonna put it away for tonight. So I'm gonna go do some yoga. Yeah, just settle in for a nice cozy night. I probably need to close this window a little bit, close the blinds. I have managed to cool my apartment down to 67 degrees. I'm very happy about that. I'm hoping I will sleep better tonight with it being cooler. Again, it's been like around 70, which is cooler than what it is in the middle of the summer when I have the air conditioning on. I just think I sleep better in the winter overall, like proper winter. It's still like throughout the middle of the winter I was keeping it like it was, my apartment was staying like around 62 degrees to 64 as an indoor temperature, and that is just honestly where I'm happiest, especially at night when I'm trying to sleep. And so even though it's not that much warmer, I think it's just warm enough that it's screwing with my sleep. So I don't want to close this window too much, because if I can get it even colder in here, I would be very happy. But I do need to close these blinds because it is getting dark out, and I don't need all my neighbors being able to look into my apartment. But anyway, I'm going to stop and go get on with my night and just enjoy a cozy evening. Okay, it is now late, 10 o'clock. I need to go to bed soon. I'm gonna watch one more YouTube video and then I'll get in bed and do a little bit of reading and then go to sleep, because I have to work tomorrow. I mean, I had to work today, but I have to go to work to campus tomorrow, and it's Thursdays, as I've mentioned before, are my long days. So it's gonna be an easy day. It's just gonna be a long day. Like, I know what I'm doing. It's all my business writing classes, which are my favorite classes to teach because they're the ones I know the best. I know exactly what I'm doing. I haven't written down my lesson plan. I know exactly what I'm doing. I could teach tomorrow's class without writing anything down and know what I need to cover. So, like, I'm not worried. It's not like, this is one of the things like I do like about my job is I do it really well. Like, I feel really confident in what I do as a teacher. It's one of the few things I don't have imposter syndrome about. I used to, but now it's like, it doesn't faze me. I don't have any issues with that. So like, I know exactly what we're doing, so I'm not worried about that, but it's just, it's office hours and then teaching my first class and then teaching my second class and then going back to my office for the longer stretch of office hours and then finally going and teaching the last class of the day. And it just feels like it's a very long day at the end of what by that point is usually feeling like a long week. So I don't know, today I think was good. I think it was good that I just kind of stayed home. Yoga was nice. I didn't go out for a walk. A walk would have been lovely, but I think it just would have made me even more tired. So like, I think it's good that I just had a very relaxed, very chill day at home. Made some good progress today. I think I was nervous after just how weird last Wednesday felt. Like, I think I was just a little apprehensive about this Wednesday and was it going to be the same? And in some ways it was. In some ways I got, like I said earlier, in some ways I got less done this week, this Wednesday, I feel like. But in other ways I just felt so much better this week. So I'm glad I got to share it with you guys. I'm feeling really good about the outlining I did. Like I'm not going to do any outlining tomorrow because Thursdays I don't do book work, but like I'm really excited for Friday and for this weekend to do more outlining. I think I'm going to do a little bit more work in Babisco, and then I'm going to start moving everything over to Scrivener. So I will definitely vlog that when I do so you can see what that process is like. And I'm actually kind of liking this way of outlining. It's been a little bit different than how I've done it before, just in terms of the format of how I've been outlining it. The process is the same as what I described in my outlining video. So the process is the same, but the way, the software and the way that I'm going about doing it is a little bit different. But I think it's been working for me. But I am getting to that point where I think I'm ready to shift the outlining stuff over to Scrivener and switch back to doing more character development in Babisco, because I'm still, and this is something I need to really be focusing on this week and next. I need to figure out the main male character. I just keep calling him H in the outline, short for hero. Like, he's the romantic hero of the story, so I've just been calling him H. Like, I don't have his actual name figured out yet. I kind of know what he looks like, but not really. And I know what brings him to town and what his connection to the main female character is. Like, there's certain things I know about him, but there's still a lot I don't know about him. So I really need, I think this weekend, I need to just spend some time getting to know the main male character of this story, because I'm about a week away, less than a week and a half away from having to start writing this book, and like, he still doesn't have a name, so need to fix that. I'm gonna stop rambling because otherwise I will be here all night long. So thank you for watching this vlog. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. I would really appreciate that. Say hi in the comments. Let me know how you're doing. I don't have a question, so just leave me some cloud emojis, some cloud and rain emojis for the amazing weather we had today. I'm still just smiling so much. Say hi, let me know how you're doing. All of that good stuff as well. And I will see you all very soon in the next vlog. Thank you very much for watching this one. Bye!